Hey, what's up? Good evening. You're listening to another episode of Taking the Over with Billy Gunn, and I'm your host, Billy Gunn, on this, the official sports wagering podcast of Boot Crew Media. And tonight, we're going to talk fantasy football, which is not something we typically do on the show, but we're just gonna rip the Band-Aid off. We're just going to make it happen right now, and we're going to talk fantasy football to our little heart's content. It's now the first or second day for training camps around the NFL, so it feels like a good time. My normal co-host, Team Man Among Boys, is somewhere in the great city of New York, trying to navigate his way home. So I've got the help of some of my friends, longtime friends, guys I've known for at least 20 years in all these cases. They're all former guests on the show. And we're going to have a good old fun time tonight talking fantasy football, starting with the guy who really probably does the most research out of anybody. I'm glad he's here joining us tonight because I'm going to kind of lean on him. No, it's not Todd. Definitely not Todd. The guy that, friend that's going to really, I'm going to lean on you, Chunk, for a lot of this tonight because I know you are up to your eyeballs in fantasy football data. I remember you sharing with me last year at the little McMansion at Quandra's place that you listen to like 8 hours of fantasy football podcasts a week, and you were in like you were in a really absurd number of drafts, like 24 or something like that leagues. What's up, man? Good evening. Thanks for being here. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me. I'm excited, ready for this new season coming up. Hopefully, I'll get a chance to win our league, maybe once.
Well, it's 1 in 24 is not bad.
Yeah. 1 in 24 is not bad. Rusty's gonna be joining us lately, and he'll be the first to tell you that he's won it 6 times out of 23.
I know.
He's very proud of that. Also being joined tonight by Troy Bailey. Troy's a frequent guest on the pod. We always enjoy having Troy around. Oh, since I've got Troy and Chunk, and I don't know what Todd of use you'll be for this, but we can also talk UFC 277 a little bit because that's going to be fun. We can actually talk some gambling on UFC 277. But Troy, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us tonight. How you doing?
What's up, buddy? Thanks for having me back.
Oh, dude, I'm glad it's been a while. I think you're actually the most frequent guest on the show. But it had been a minute since you've been on here, so I'm excited about that.
With my lack of research.
And with your lack of research, that's what you're known for. And then, oh my goodness, we're joined by Todd up there in Colorado, good friend Todd, and Todd, you were actually a participant in our most downloaded episode ever of Taking the Over, the episode where we recounted the tale of accidentally getting stoned with the KKK. Back in sometime around 1999. So, Todd, welcome back to Taking the Over. How are you doing, man?
Good, man. First time listener, long time participant. Doing great, man. Thanks for having me out, dude.
First time listener, long time participant. That was an insult. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Todd. It's so good to hear. I love you so much. I love all you guys. I'm like, this is going to be. I apologize to the listener ahead of time. I'm excited to be with these guys here. We're going to have a really, really good time tonight. So like I said, I don't spend a whole lot of time on fantasy football, to be honest with you, anymore. It's not even my top priority. I mean, I love being in a league with you guys. We've been in a league now for something like probably 22, 23 years. I think we started around 99 or 2000. We've all been a part of it for just about, I think, that entire amount of time. I know Todd came on a little bit later, but dude, I mean, we know each other's tendencies. I mean, I give a shit about our league. There's no financial stakes. It's the league that I'm in with like no financial stakes or anything like that. But it's the league I give a shit the most about because of the longevity of it. Right?
Right.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the only league I participate in anymore.
Yeah.
I could care less about fantasy except for our league. Yeah.
Troy, you're down to one league. Chunk, how many leagues are you doing this year? I know it hurts your ears to hear Troy say that.
I don't know, probably in 25 to 30 range.
Dude, are you fucking serious?
Something like that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's my hobby, man. It's what I like to do.
Y'all don't have gambling in Texas, do you?
Dude, I have hobby.
Wait till you get gambling. I bet you when y'all get gambling, you're going to cut down to like 12 leagues.
I've just been scoring in our league for so long. I had to just join a bunch of them, hoping maybe I can win and just get that gratification.
So you're still as sick with it as you were last year. Like, I mean, you're listening? So you're like, you got your finger on the pulse. And I gotta be honest to the listener and all y'all. I mean, I haven't done any fantasy research really until about the last week, and really started digging into the player rankings in the last 48 hours.
I'm with you.
I play a lot of Dynasty, so I'm year round, man.
What you think about your boy Matthew Berry? He's leaving ESPN. Has they said where he's going yet?
No, he hadn't said yet. No, I listen to his podcast pretty regular.
He's my first round pick.
I believe you, Todd.
He still wouldn't be the worst first round pick in our draft, though.
Yeah. When you've been in a draft with such longevity, the draft, it's the league itself. When you've been in a league for this long, the league develops its own lore, its own legends. And there was the legend of a friend of ours who participates in the league, and he drafted a certain Pittsburgh tight end in the first round several years back.
Heath
Who
Miller.
was it? Heath Miller. That's right.
Heath Miller.
I was trying to think of which tight end it was the other day. I was like recreating that in my mind. And I just remembered suck. I remembered it was shitty and stupid and a really great moment in the history of the Black Sheep Football League draft. But I couldn't remember that it was Heath fucking Miller. So good.
God, that's great.
That's so good. All right, so looking at the stuff, man, I got to tell y'all that first and foremost, I feel like, and Chunk, you're the expert here. I feel like there's going to be a lot of divergence. It doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of unanimous thought about who's going where and what. This year, I would say this year more than ever. That's my completely uneducated take. Am I onto something?
No, you are. I mean, number one pick's pretty locked in with Jonathan Taylor, but after that, it's a lot of variables that come into play. Like you have Derrick Henry and Christian McCaffrey coming off of injuries, but they're both awesome. And you have some new emerging players like Najee Harris and Javonte Williams that are going top 10. So, I mean, there's a whole lot. There's a lot of change of the guard coming, a lot in the running back position and the wide receiver position as well.
That sounded really professional.
Yeah, he's good at this. He knows what he's doing. That's what I thought when I saw it. Todd, you got any fucking analysis over there, buddy? You got anything you to say?
Yeah, I think,
You can stick with Matthew Berry in the top slot.
Matthew Berry in the top slot, number one, but I don't trust Derrick Henry. I don't know.
You don't trust Derrick Henry?
I don't trust Derrick Henry. Yeah.
How do you feel about Christian McCaffrey?
Man, some reason I trust him a little bit more. I don't know why. I know.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you, Todd.
That's my professional opinion.
Yeah, I know it is. Like I see Christian
Cricket's
McCaffrey,
not my game. Cricket's not my game.
He appears to be a guy that, there seems to be a lot of divergent thought on. Definitely with Todd. But I mean, I've seen him high, I've seen him low. Like I wouldn't touch him with Todd's dick. You know what I mean? Like
I agree.
He'd have to be close. He'd have to be close. But yeah.
Chuck, where's he at? Like what's he doing?
Right now, it looks like he's 6th overall in ADP. So he's still there. He's behind Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Eckler, and Taylor in the Yahoo rankings that I'm looking at. It varies from place to place, but like you never know with him, dude, because he was so good, dominant. Like 7 or 8 points better than the next running back when he was on. But the last 2 years, he's been hurt, so it's a big risk. But, I mean, if you take a swing and hit a home run, you win you the league.
But what's a home run look like for him? I mean, I'm thinking, like, if you draft him, it feels like the ceiling is he's going to play 8 games. Right?
Yeah.
Let's just go through, Chuck, just bring us through, like, the consensus top 12. Let's go through what the first round's going to look like. So obviously Jonathan Taylor's the only, like you said earlier, the only clear far and away number 1 pick. All right.
Yeah.
And then after that,
you just kind of use the Yahoo rankings. They're the standard. That's the league we play in. I got to pull up in front of me.
What you got number 2?
Their top 12 is going Jonathan Taylor, Austin Eckler, Cooper Kupp.
Austin Eckler. Hold on, Austin Eckler.
Yes.
The number 2 overall pick in fantasy football now.
Yes.
What was he last year?
For real?
He was probably middle of the second round, I think. I can't remember, but He was like RB3 last year, RB2 or RB3. He scored 19 touchdowns.
Yeah. Who's number 3? Who's number 3? Next on the list after Eckler.
Number 3 is Cooper Kupp. Then it's Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, Christian McCaffrey, Najee Harris, and the 2 LSU boys, JJ and Jamar, followed by Mixon and Chubb, closing out the first round.
Cooper Kupp.
Man.
Troy, what do you think about Cooper Kupp?
I like Cooper Kupp.
Did you
I
make
think
some
Wilson's
money off
better than
Cooper?
last
Did you
year.
make some money off Cooper Kupp in the Super Bowl?
I did. I don't remember what it was.
I mean,
Was
I
it
had a
FanDuel
bet
that had
for,
some kind of crazy prop bet? One of their intro prop bets to try to get people to throw away their money. I won on.
it's one
But
of
this
those,
year,
like,
I'm thinking.
Cooper Kupp one
I'm
catch.
thinking. I want to start out strong with just straight up athleticism. Right out of the gate. So I'm thinking maybe like Kamara and that guy Deshaun Watson. They're going to come out right from the beginning and put numbers. Right?
Wait a minute.
That's
Hold
what
on.
it's
Hold on.
about.
Hold on now. I don't know. I'd let that fly, but
This
for
is
the
a hot
fact that
take. This is a
you
hot
said
take.
from the beginning. This is a hot
Yeah.
take.
Get
You
Bayless over
said
here.
from the beginning, sir. And I got to tell you that first of all, Deshaun Watson's not going to be playing Week 1, so it's not going to be from the
Oh
beginning. No, he's
Why is
got
that?
a. He's
He's
there's a
healthy,
matter
though.
he's dealing with. Yeah. He's dealing with a civil matter right now.
Yeah, that's when the sorority rush starts.
But the Browns gave him a lot of money. And you told me he's not
Exotic
going
is
to
going to
play?
be in town. Exotic is going to be in Cleveland that weekend.
Yeah.
It's my favorite time to be on Instagram when the Exotica conferences are going on. If you just curate your Instagram experience the proper way, when they have a porn star convention, it's a fun week on Instagram.
Oh my God.
Troy, I'm sorry, I was over. Yeah. No, Deshaun Watson's not going to be there week 1. I mean, would you like to revise your stance, or you want to stick with what go down in flames?
I guess I'll play it by ear then. If he's not available,
play
it
it by
sounds like
ear.
it sounds like you're trying to throw me off so you can take.
Well, I think
in
if
our
you just wait another week or 2, I feel like we're going to know perhaps the outcome of some of these matters with the league in a week or 2. With Deshaun. I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Same thing's a similar thing. I mean, it's funny. I think if Deshaun gets like 8 games, Alvin Kamara should get 0 games. Is that fair?
Are you delivering? You're serving up punishments right now? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I'm playing Goodell. Yeah, I'm playing.
Oh, okay,
I put my
okay.
Goodell hat on. These whenever I put on these sunglasses, I turn to Goodell.
What a clown. So is that fair?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fair.
Okay.
Chunk, who's number 4?
Number 4 is Derrick Henry.
Derrick fucking Henry, who Todd said if he's a betting man and he's betting on resolve and the ability to return from injury, he would go with Christian McCaffrey over Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
Fellas,
no, man.
I feel very differently about Derrick Henry. I think
agree.
one of my only regrets of the trip to Nashville last year to see the Saints play the Titans was that I did not get to see Derrick Henry play football in person. And that was on my bucket list because I feel like he is a legendary running back in what's been a relatively short career so far. He's had his first issues with injury. I don't know. I feel like Derrick Henry's a safe bet, and it feels like Tennessee's going to have less of a passing game than they did last year, right? It's going to be Derrick Henry and whatever else can happen on that team. And you said Yahoo's got him at 4, John?
Yeah,
And that would be as the number 2 or 3 running back?
that would be the number 3 running back.
Damn, dude.
The consensus is that team takes a little bit of a dive, right? Isn't that what the
People have been speaking
Folks are
poorly
projecting.
about Tennessee as if their window is closed or closing. I think there's been some bullshit. There's been some talk between the Tannehill and the front office and all that. I think that has a lot to do with everything.
He's not good enough to win the AFC, dude.
No, well the AFC is stacked.
Stacked. Yes, sir.
Stacked.
Yeah.
Jump right in and jump out of place and talk about Josh Allen right now.
Oh,
He's the number 1 quarterback, right?
oh. He is the number one quarterback. Has
He's the
been
number one fantasy football quarterback. And what's his overall draft position,
His
Chunk?
overall draft position is it's 2.4. Round 2.4 is where he's
2.4.
going.
Not in the Black Sheep Football League this year. Not in our fantasy league.
Fuck, man. You
Where
got
you gonna take him?
to reach to get him. He's my
Where you
favorite
gonna take
player, and I never get him.
Where you gonna take him? You gonna take him in the first round?
Chunk's gonna take him in the first. Chunk is taking him in the first.
I
You
get
better.
draft
I'm
position.
warning Chunk. You better. If you
Dude, if
don't,
you
he
want
might
him-
not be. Yeah, if you want him, you better take his ass in the first round. I'm telling you right now. Don't matter.
Yeah, you better pick before me, man.
We won't even know the order till what? Day before?
Day before, usually.
So,
Day before.
I don't know.
Remember-
I like Josh Allen a lot. I mean,
Spot, though, dude.
I will say this. I mean, I feel like it's legit to overdraft Josh Allen because I feel like there's a bigger gap fantasy-wise and just as far as like certainty goes between Josh Allen and the next sure thing fantasy quarterback.
Which
You
is
know,
who?
because of what he brings as far as just outright production, they're going to throw the ball fucking 50 times a game. And when they're not throwing the ball, they're running it with his ass, which is insane to me. Like, I love Josh Allen. I love Josh Allen for Chunk. I know he's going to be
Amen.
thrilled as a fucking Bills fan. I love betting on the Bills. I love betting on Josh Allen. And
Goddamn
he's one of those guys you like having the fucking shit in his hand, you know? And then, but they run, and they give him these huge contracts and all this, and they don't care. They still run his ass all the time.
I think that's
great for
been
fantasy.
changed a little bit this year. I don't think he's going to run quite as much.
I've seen otherwise. I thought they'd have made that declaration 12 months ago.
They drafted a pass catching running back in round 2 though, so he can dump it off. That was the big reason they wanted to get a pass catching RB so that he could not have to run so much. Coach told
Whether he runs less or not, let's say he runs the same. I mean, he's going to have a huge fan. Like, somebody's going to jump up and be, you know, the next best fantasy quarterback when the smoke ends at the end of the season, you know?
Mhm.
But it's going to be some, like, Mac Jones or some motherfucker like that. You know, it's like somebody you know you're not going to think. Russell Wilson.
Do great in Denver.
Is this the year that Zach motherfucking Wilson puts it all together in New York, throws for 4,700 yards, 42 touchdowns? That New York Jets offense.
Well, they got
Air
Heath,
Jets.
so they're good.
Motherfucking Wilson. That's funny, dude.
Yeah, that's his name. Every time he gets referred to on this podcast for the rest of his career, he will be Zach motherfucking Wilson. You don't just, I mean, you earn that title, and once you get it, you don't lose it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we really use that our whole lives with really no merit. Like,
Todd, have you ever fucked any of your friends' mothers?
no, man. Well, I
Troy?
mean, hold on.
No.
Hold on. Oh, wait. Todd's not done answering. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. You fucked somebody here. For the audio listeners, he's silently pointing at another member of the panel and saying that he hasn't fucked that panelist's mother. Good job.
Well,
by the way. Good job on that.
as
my
much
goodness.
as that dude has talked about my mom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a good one.
Oh, sweet.
That was good. Troy, I mean, have you also fucked somebody else on the panel's mother or another?
No,
mother or
no, I
something?
haven't. I did meet Todd's mom though. Shoot.
What the hell,
Dude.
man? the hell, man?
Have you never fucked a lady with kids?
Who you talking to?
Troy. I'm talking to Troy. Troy, I'm sorry.
What,
Troy,
like
have you never
a
fucked a
lady
lady
with
with kids?
children?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, then you're a motherfucker too.
Shit.
Well, I thought
At
we were
our age,
saying
that's all that's
a friend's
left.
mother.
Yeah. I know Chunk's a motherfucker. So I guess the correct answer is you have fucked somebody's mother, but just like Zach Wilson. But Todd is the only Todd with the big revelation tonight that he fucked somebody else's. That's here tonight's mom. So
Well,
yeah, Zach Wilson's going to have a great. I don't. That's what I'm saying. The second quarterback could just be somebody. There's a certainty that Josh Allen's number one, clear and away number one. Chunk, who's number 5 in the first round?
5 in the first round. Let me scroll back up. It is Dalvin Cook.
Oh, you don't like that one, huh?
Nah, man, I'm still sour from last year,
Because he got hurt.
and he sucked.
Did he? That was just a Kirk Cousins led enterprise last year.
I don't know. They got a new head coach. We'll see. But yeah, I'm jaded. So
Troy, you got anything on Dalvin Cook?
I just don't like Vikings in general.
Fuck Vikings.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay with home.
Hey, isn't Vikings kind of a goofy caricature, by the way, of white people?
Yeah, why hasn't it been canceled yet?
I mean, is it time to change the Vikings name?
No,
We're not just
What-
like
what-
we're all like, well, we all have beards and
Yeah.
fucking blow horns and shit and
Yeah.
have blonde hair. What's that all about?
we
I have
didn't
attended
cancel
the
it.
game in Minnesota, and
Oh, you
there
went.
is
That's right. You went to
nothing
the
is-
belly of the beast.
That's right. There's
That's
in that new stadium. It's
Well, it's your
amazing.
tail.
So like 50,000 scary white people, screaming "Skull, skull, skull" all at once. It's kind of creepy and pretty cool, I guess.
There's a lot of white guilt in Minneapolis, though.
A lot of white people.
It was a lot of white, but they also have a lot of white guilt
Yeah.
in Minneapolis.
Do they feel guilty?
Is it? Well, I mean, why have they not suggested that they get rid of their own team name yet? Those people
Right.
up there.
They should
Those
feel
crazy
guilty, I
50,000.
guess.
You said there's 20,000 Saints fans in there that night,
There
Troy?
might have been. Saints fans always represent really well at away games.
Oh yeah. Chunk, what you think?
About what?
If we're gonna keep the name Vikings or get rid of it.
Football and
That's-
shit.
Well, I mean, I guess it's not as bad as Redskins.
Well, yeah, Redskins is really.
You know, like
offensive.
that's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
fucking foul, dude.
That actually is
Think
kind
about
of
it.
really fucked up. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I can't
I
believe
still,
it.
I don't
That's
want to call them the
what
Commanders. I prefer to keep calling them Washington Football Team, if I can. You know?
Commanders is terrible. They should have used alliteration and called them the Washington Warriors, and that paid tribute to their Native American heritage, and be fucking done with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an easy transition. Good job. I like that.
Who's number 6? Who's number 6 on the list?
McCaffrey is number 6.
We've already. I think he gets hurt. All right. That's a worthless ass pick. I'd take him in the 3rd round.
He's not gonna last till the 3rd round.
I know.
Too much nostalgia.
Yeah.
He's out of there. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's gonna probably be. You think he gets picked there like in a league like ours? You think he goes top 6? I'm not trying to gather intel. I'm just trying to say that like I know the personalities of the people in our league, and I mean, we got half the league almost represented here. Who else? Like, who's going to go like McCaffrey?
Tim Carlsworth.
That's true. Number 7, what you got?
Najee Harris.
Najee Harris. Whew. This is what, half a point or a full point per reception we're talking right now?
Full point.
Our league's a full point.
Full
Wait, we
point's
play
good.
PPR?
Full point's good. Oh yeah, every year ever since you joined the league, dude. Todd, do you remember your finishing position?
What have I been doing my whole life?
No wonder I've only got 2nd every time. God.
No, that's not true.
That's not true. I got 3rd a few times. Got
Yeah.
3rd, 4th.
I don't even have the effort to go and debunk that lie. But,
You don't need to. It's debunked itself.
okay. Troy, what you think about number 7? Najee Harris.
I'm pretty indifferent to everyone so far, except for Taylor.
I mean, I feel like Najee Harris.
I'm hoping I get the
ceiling
last
to be
pick.
the most
honestly.
Taylor-like, right? It feels like everything's going to have to run through Taylor this year in Pittsburgh. They don't have a fucking quarterback. They got Mitch Trubisky, and they got the motherfucker they drafted from Pittsburgh.
He's gonna get a lot of volume. You know, he's gonna accumulate points that way. He's not very efficient, but he's gonna get fucking 300 carries, probably 50 to 70 catches. He's solid. He's not like spectacular, but he's solid for sure.
I mean, if he's only solid, what's that mean for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year, though? Like that means that Pittsburgh's going to suck.
There's a very good chance that they're not going to be good.
I second that.
Mike Tomlin, though, just never has shitty teams.
No, but he's always had Ben Roethlisberger at quarterback too, who hadn't been great the last few years, but he still led them to the playoffs or right on the cusp.
Yeah.
There's no way they win their division, though.
No.
Fuck no.
Cleveland's winning that.
How do you got
division.
that shit?
Cleveland's going to go 17-0 with Deshaun Watson.
I like Baltimore.
Baltimore.
They're always good, man. You can't ever count them out, dude.
Mm-hmm.
After the exit they made in the playoffs last year, and how they kind of downgraded themselves at wide receiver, I'm not high on Baltimore. Where's Lamar as far as fantasy quarterbacks? Chunk, is he like top 3?
Quarterbacks. Let's see. I think he's top. He's definitely top 5. But among quarterbacks, he is 4th.
4th.
Yep.
You got Allen, Mahomes, Brady,
Justin.
Allen, Mahomes, Herbert's 30.
Herbert.
Yeah, Herbert.
Yeah.
That dude's a monster.
Hey, I keep calling him A-Bear up here, and people yell at me.
You can't. I've never once done that, even like in a joking fashion. I've never even tried to make a joke out of it. I've just Herbert. I was really prepared for him to suck, and to have a lot of fun with his name.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he's an old late game West Coast gunslinger.
Yeah, no, he's got a little respect on his name now, but I just want to call him A-Bear every now and then.
I bet Mike versus they had picked him instead of Tua. That was a pretty.
Haven't really had a run on receivers yet in the first round, right? So far, it's only been Kupp.
No.
I'm assuming that's going to change around pick 8.
Yeah, your next 2 are the 2 LSU boys. Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase.
And that's before any kind of Devontae Adams action.
Yep.
What do you think of that? You think that makes sense? And okay, well, how big of a gulf is there between the 2 LSU wide receivers, between Jefferson and between Chase? Who do you think is better in a fantasy context?
Consistency.
They're basically they're looped up right next to each other, right? They're next to each other.
Okay. Consistency. Jefferson, he's going to get more volume, but he's not going to have as many explosive plays, and he's not going to have as many touchdowns as Jamar Chase. So it's kind of, they're both awesome. You can't go wrong.
From a production standpoint, who do you think is going to make more yards and more touchdowns?
Chase.
Jefferson, I think, will have more yards. Chase will have more touchdowns. Jefferson will have more points in a PPR.
Troy, what you got on number 9? Chuck, who is number 9?
Number 9.
That's Chase, right? So one of the 2 LSU.
Right.
Where we got at number 10?
Joe Mixon.
Quality guy.
Solid.
He could go above Henry, possibly, right? Just because of injury concern.
I was about to say, well, is there injury concern with Joe Mixon, though? He missed a couple games last year.
What was his injury?
You're the medical expert on the panel.
Yeah, the medical expert. I think he broke his hand slapping somebody in a ice cream store one time.
Oh, okay.
There's a lower extremity. Injury on Mixon last year.
Got a hangnail? Okay.
Yeah. He missed a few games. I don't know, man. There's only, what would you say? There's only like 5 or 6 top fantasy running backs in the whole deal. So like you've got to really value running backs. I know that's always been the rule. To me, I like to buck that tradition. I like to go wide receivers early, or I like to go tight ends early. I like to go like best player at a position. Like, if I know I've got the best quarterback, and there's enough distance between that best quarterback and the second, the third, and the fourth best quarterback by the time the end of the season comes, I don't mind reaching and trying to get some of the best. So like, I'm assuming Kelsey's is a first round pick, top 12 pick chunk, right? Is Kelsey somewhere in there as a tight end?
He's around 15. Or
Yeah.
Really?
11 or
yeah,
15.
yeah, he's right at the turn.
But I mean, like I'm assuming he's far and away the biggest tight end this year. I mean, is there another? When's the next tight end going to be taken after him?
Mark Andrews will be next. He's about 10 picks after.
And that feels too high on Andrews for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know?
Tight ends, you either got to take a great one or you got to wait and take one late. You don't want to take one in the middle rounds.
Yeah, you got to sacrifice another position and then get that and then see what happens.
I want to counter your point about the importance of the running backs, though, especially in the context of our league. Right. So our league is 10 people, and we have 2 running backs, 2 receivers, and a flex. Right. So because there's a lot more dilution at the running back position, there's not as many great players. I think it's better for you to take your running backs early because there's so many wide receivers that score points in PPR.
Okay.
Like, you don't necessarily have to have Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, or somebody can come out of nowhere like last year, like Cooper Kupp. I got Cooper Kupp in the 7th or 8th round last year.
Yeah, I know. I remember I had both him and Robert Woods available at the same time, and I took Robert Woods.
Well, I've heard you took Woods for years, dude.
I was on the clock, and they were both available, and I was like, it's time to take one of these two guys, but I really feel like I'm safer with Woods. It was like an all-time fantasy football fuck up. Woods would go on to play like 7 games and leave.
This Freudian slip,
Cup had
man.
a historic fucking season, culminating in a Super Bowl MVP. There's a guy that fucking tore
There's always next year, right?
Yeah. Robert Woods is no longer even in LA. I don't think I'll struggle with that choice this year. I don't think it's gonna have to split any. I'm gonna have to split over Woods versus Cup. Who you got at number 11?
Number 11 is Nick Chubb.
Wow. You think he's going to be any good this year, Troy?
Sure.
I mean, he's going to be next to Deshaun Watson from week
pick.
1 on.
It's kind of a safe pick, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's a safe pick
to me.
Todd,
what do you think about Nick Chubb?
How's that prevent defense, man? Prevent the win. Yeah.
Carl Smith, right?
Yeah.
Carl Smith? Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? Carl Smith? Yeah. It's like he had naked photos of somebody. You know what I mean? To play that prevent like he did. All it does is going to prevent you from winning.
That's it.
Chunk, what you think about Nick Chubb?
Solid, like he's a good pick for the end of the first round, beginning of the second round. If he's trying to hold that position down, he's going to get his points. He has injury issues too, like most running backs. He's never played a full season. He's always missed 2 or 3 games, but he's good when he plays. He's not the best for PPR because he doesn't catch the ball.
He doesn't. He's not going to catch it all.
Who's behind him?
Kareem Hunt.
Still Kareem Hunt, unless he gets moved during training camp or the preseason. Which there's been rumors of Kareem Hunt getting traded. The Saints were one of those rumors, but they signed Malcolm Brown today from the Rams, which honestly doesn't seem like a bad running back option somewhere in fantasy football this year, right?
Malcolm Brown.
Yeah. Yeah. They signed him today. Breaking news here on Taking the Over. All of our listeners already know this. What do you think about Kamara? Where's Kamara getting picked?
Because of his uncertainty.
Right. Where's the uncertainty land him?
He's behind Josh Allen, Deebo Samuel. I mean, he's probably in the 25 range if I'm looking at this right. Something like that. after Leonard Fournette.
Ugh.
Wow. Yeah, I did. Okay, I was looking earlier. I saw him like right before or right after Leonard Fournette. Can we
Yeah.
talk about Leonard Fournette for a minute? All right. I have to disclose this. Leonard Fournette ruined Avengers Endgame for me. He spoiled it.
What,
Or maybe the
what?
other one. Yeah. He ruined it on Instagram. So I've had an aversion to Leonard Fournette ever since that happened.
Do you
Blocked.
follow Leonard Fournette on Instagram?
Uh-huh.
Well, it should have
Yes,
been
I
his
did.
ankle.
Even
but-
since he spoiled Avengers for me. Yeah. I still
Man.
follow him. And you know what? I'll be honest, like the man has been working out. Like he has not been working out. He posts his shit
But
all
didn't they
summer.
have news coming out that he was showed up to Camp Heavy?
He is heavy. He's
It's
been
muscle.
fucking powerlifting. He's on that John Jones shit.
God. Wait,
He's been powerlifting, dude.
was he on Team Thanos or what?
I mean, I don't know that it's good for. I don't think that it's. You want Hercules back there running the ball, but like
I don't know.
if it's 260 of muscle, even you know what I mean. But people are talking shit about the 260. I don't think he's out of shape. He's a different kind of shape because he has been lifting
Rounder.
all fucking summer. Yeah,
So someone told him, you hurt your ankle, get heavier.
get heavier. That's on. Yeah, great idea.
Obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the move. So what he's like, you could still eat McDonald's if you just power lift. Somebody told him that. And he's like, all right, I'll do that. I'll fucking power lift. Like, this is better. It's inside.
Dude, I'm sorry. You can't be a running back at 260. Like,
No.
you can't.
Well,
No,
not for long.
What was the
Shit.
bus? What did he? What was his?
The bus or the refrigerator. Yeah.
Those guys were
That's
usually
probably
those guys were usually
235,
230. Those guys usually 230, 235. Like they made a big
right.
deal because they had a tummy. You know what I mean? But they were big, strong men.
But he
that were
carried
230,
that year
230,
round.
which is
Yeah.
which is what Fournette should be, as like a fucking chiseled ass grown man. You know what I mean? Because he's always been the biggest, strongest man out there. Except for when he's not.
How's that team gonna do though?
Fuck that team. Boy, I tell you what. Fuck the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who'd they go sign? They went and signed Julio Jones. They went and got mercenary Julio Jones.
Julio!
Oh my goodness. He has more fumbles than interceptions against the Saints in the last several years. He wanted to make sure he could continue his legacy of losing to New Orleans twice a year. He didn't get to do that in Nashville last year with the Titans, but he's sure as shit gonna do it with the Bucks.
I'm gonna find odds, see if he dies on the field. If I can make.
Where's
that
Tom
bet.
Brady in this mix at quarterback, Chuck?
I believe it's QB6. Let me look.
Is he all over 8? Overall 8?
He is 2, 4, 6, 8. He is QB8.
Wow. He puts up a shitload of yards and touchdowns, does he not?
Yeah, he does. He
That
just
same
can't.
motherfucker, like, make sure he gets 350 yards and 4 touchdowns every week.
Yes.
He gets to call his own plays.
Fire his head coaches. Yeah, whatever.
He had
wants to
fire
do.
his head coaches too. He pretty much used to retire. Be like, you better fire that fucking head coach and I'll come back.
Yeah, dude, that really sucked. I was so fucking happy when he retired. Only to hear like a week later, man, I'm gonna come back. Dickhead.
You remember there was a stretch where he would go undrafted in fantasy league.
Yeah,
That was great.
yeah. It's not the
That's all.
beginning of his career. I don't know. He's on some kind of special performance enhancer that nobody else in the world has access to. They're going to be Tom Brady documentaries on Netflix, like Lance Armstrong.
It's the avocado ice cream, bro.
He's eating avocado ice cream. Todd,
German
as a medical
stem cells.
professional, and you know, Todd, of course, I'm a medical professional too now. We can talk about that if y'all want. Chuck was like, "Hey, I saw you wearing a lab coat. Like, what's going on?" And I'm like, "Well, I run an ED clinic. It's like that's my
Dude.
profession now.
Do you?
That's what I do for a living."
Wait. tell me about that.
It's true.
So men come to see us who have erectile dysfunction, and usually pretty serious, right? Usually like the pills and stuff aren't working for them, so then they come to see us, and we give them their joy back, you know, make life happy again. We get them some rock hard dicks.
Selling happiness.
Yeah, selling happiness, Dave. I really feel good some days about how I'm helping people, because I am.
Oh, okay. I didn't know where you were going with that. But you're not using pills.
We give them a test dose of the medication right there in the clinic.
First hits for free?
No, it's not free. We
Good for you.
have to see the
Good for
doctor
you.
and get prescribed the test dose, and we charge them for that and all the testing and everything that goes into it. But I'm not a crack dealer. I'm not like, oh yeah, I'm not a bad ABC after school special. Like the first hit's on me. I mean, one could maybe argue counter to that, but
We won't.
yeah, we won't.
How the hell did you get into that racket, dude? That's totally different from what you were doing before. Like, totally.
Yeah, it's like Indeed.com.
Yeah, you're doing vagina injections earlier.
Yeah, before I was doing it. Yeah. So it's a very easy transition. Just go in, from one to the other. Yeah, dude, it's pretty wild. We're getting into the subprime game soon. We're gonna be able to do like buy here, pay here, like rent to own.
Oh, okay. So like, what causes? What's the main cause of all that stuff?
Oh, living unhealthy as shit. Good question, Todd. In fact, as the medical professional here, I'm not shocked that you asked that question. Can we just have a public service announcement for a minute
Do
here?
it, man. Do it.
Dude,
What do we
I
avoid?
used to smoke cigarettes, okay?
Yeah.
And people told me that like cigarettes would kill me and I'd die an early death because of cigarettes.
Right.
I did not care. Did not matter to me. I'll die at maybe hopefully 70. That's the kind of the top end of that.
That's a good run.
Most
Yeah,
likely.
it's a good run
yeah.
for cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
And I was okay with that. I'm like, fuck it, I don't care. Okay, I'll keep smoking cigarettes. When I realized that like if you smoke cigarettes for like 30 years and you turn 50, that your dick is not going to work. I'm like, okay, I'm not smoking cigarettes now.
so you can live
Caused me
without
to
life. You can live without life and not without sex.
I can live without my life, but not without my dick working. Yeah.
I feel that.
Well, just be your own best customer then. You wouldn't fucking
Oh, well, I'm fortunate that I don't need the treatment that I provide yet. Hey, look, I mean, this story's not over. You know what I mean? We're only in the third quarter, but I really just want to live. High blood pressure. If you have high blood pressure, and you take medication for it. If you have high cholesterol and you take medication for it. If you're diabetic, that can be a contributing factor.
Fucking 3 for 3.
If you smoked your entire fucking life, if you've had radiation done to your prostate, or had your prostate removed, or if you've had some kind of physical trauma to your dick, like some kinky weird shit.
You said
That happens
subprime?
too. Subprime, yeah.
Okay.
Like it's a mortgage?
No, subprime is the term for mortgages and like auto lending, like all types of lending.
If you got high blood pressure and high blood sugar and low credit, come see me.
You gotta come see the special man. Yeah. There's a classic New Orleans TV commercial. None of y'all are from New Orleans, and it's so frustrating when I talk to motherfuckers that are either too young or not from New Orleans, and they're my age and they don't know the Frankie and Johnny's commercial. It was a furniture commercial in New Orleans where it was like poorly produced local, but like became a legend and everybody loved it. And it's like, I have no credit. No. You got to see the special man. It was like a dude with a cigar and a cowboy hat going, let her have it. I want to recreate that commercial for the ED clinic. I want to make that I was told our marketing person the other day, I was like, if we redid this commercial like in the year 2022 and for an ED clinic, like that would be a huge deal.
It would
like,
fly.
It would
fly.
get really. I think it'd get pretty viral. Yeah.
Dude, you could find Rusty. You could
There's
find
Rusty. Hey, what's up, man?
Sorry, I was a little late today.
Oh, dude, no worries. We're now being joined by another member of our league, and he is the most frequent champion of our league, a 6-time champion. Rusty's a fucking genius, and man, we were talking fantasy football earlier. Now we're talking about rock hard dicks, but
Penises.
yeah,
I came
penises
in at the right
specifically.
time.
Yeah, and like subprime penis finance and stuff. But that's it. But dude, Rusty, thank you for joining us. You think this is, I know like I said, you've won this league the most. We've talked about numerous draft prospects. Give me a home run and give me a sleeper from Rusty Broussard on fantasy football this year.
I really think. I'm going with the home plan. I think Kamara's going to have a good year. I think he's going to do really well. He
Big year for Kamara. How many
I think
games do you think he's going to
actually be
miss?
the best running back in the league. So
Woo!
he might
But-
get all the points.
For 9 games? Or
Yeah.
for 15 games?
That's right. He is going to get hurt, but I think.
He's going to get suspended, bro. He beat a dude up on camera in Vegas. They came and
He'll make it
arrested
up.
him at the Pro Bowl.
He'll make it up.
He was playing, and the fucking cops showed up on the field and arrested him at the Pro Bowl this year.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he should do any Goodell time, but the reality is that he's going to. Who's your top?
Well, I'm
wide
not going to give
receiver?
everybody, I'm
think
competing against everybody. I'm not giving you all my notes.
You,
Well,
you
Well,
think
hold on,
do you think we just brought you on for intel purposes?
Yeah, no. Who's your number 2, 3, 4, and 5 pick
Yeah.
of this year?
Anyway, thank you for joining us, Rusty. I'm excited you're here.
I'm trying to get the Broussard bungalow together. I'm about to have a baby in 3 weeks.
Holy shit!
I have a lot
2
going on.
babies. You can have 2 babies now.
Yeah, the second one, she's due on the 20th, but she's coming earlier. The wife is already half a centimeter dilated. So
Oh wow! Does
it's
this
coming.
jeopardize your ability to hang out Labor Day weekend in Toledo Bend?
No, I will be there.
No, he'll be there. This man's a
100%.
fucking champion, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen.
I told
My best friend for a very long time.
Bailey was here the last weekend. I told him that I'm gonna go and get some special imports from around the United States from a place called Marcello's that gets their beer from all over the United States. And I'm gonna come up with at least a case and a half to 2 cases of beer from beers that you probably haven't had before. So.
I'm
Rusty
excited.
brings beers.
I'm excited for that. I'll drink a lot of that.
I need a lot of beers after
I
having a baby.
understand. Well, yeah, it's going to be a real, it's going to be a real breakaway event for you to have a fun weekend like that, right?
Yeah, I can't wait, man. I'm probably gonna break off a little bit early. Try to make it to Lazion's and get me some meat pies and.
Oh, dude, let me know. I'm gonna do the same because we can't check in till late in the day. It's an Airbnb, so we
Yeah.
got to get up there and eat
So
some
I think
meat
we
pies
also
ahead of
make
time.
that if you can just gather in Natchitoches and then we'll cart on over.
Get some of them. I love a Lazion meat pie. Who's got the best meat pie in Natchitoches between Lazion's, like Jet 24, Crack Shell? Dude, I had fried boudin at the new and improved Crack Shell this a couple months ago.
How'd that go?
It was pretty amazing.
Yeah. I used to work at Lazion's.
You worked at Lazion's?
Yeah, I got fired.
Did they make their own meat pies? Did they really make the meat pies there?
Yeah. Doesn't Chris Goday's grandfather own it?
Probably.
Yeah, I got hired. I lied to him and told him I had waited tables before.
Wait, Lazion's waiting gig is actually a pretty like high level gig in Natchitoches.
Yeah.
Like that's a decent slammed restaurant.
I made it
I
about
mean, like
4
I've had like the
months.
same like I've gone to Lazion's for 20 years, and there's like some of the same ladies. Probably some of your former coworkers are still waiting
Yeah.
tables there.
Oh,
'cause
they
it's
are,
such
they
a
are.
good job.
I dropped a whole tray of food on a brunch table on them.
Oh,
Yeah, that was my last day.
on purpose?
No. No.
They fired you for an accident?
Yeah.
That's
That's
pretty
alright.
fucking cutthroat, man.
It's cool. Great meat pies, though. Great meat pies.
I want to talk about UFC 277 here in a second. Is there anything that we didn't get to with fantasy that we know that we need to get to with fantasy?
I just want to
gave you
thank
all
you
my-
guys. Thank you for talking me out of taking Deshaun Watson in the first round. I'm going to
Yeah.
wait till the second round.
That's a good move. Good move. You're taking into account that he might get suspended for a game or two.
Those suspended guys might do well. So watch out for them.
Yeah. Todd, any parting thoughts on fantasy?
You know what? I think I've pontificated enough about what I know about fantasy football, especially now that I know that we're playing standard fantasy football. You know.
Well, no,
not on-
it's yeah, it's
What?
standard. We're playing standard scoring. Yep.
Oh, okay, cool.
Chuck, what you got? Any final thoughts from a man who's in 24?
Is it
leagues?
30? Is it 30 leagues?
Rusty, how many leagues are you in?
In between 25 and 30. It's fucking
Just-
sick.
One,
Rusty.
4.
4. Thank you. That's healthy.
In fact, I'm thinking about dropping one.
Is this an intervention for Chunk?
No, he can do whatever. He can make whatever choices he wants to make.
Bro, I live in the fucking desert.
He lives in
Nobody
West
around
Texas,
me.
dude.
I
Like,
have
the
no
fact that he's in
friends. That's all
24
I got,
fantasy
man.
leagues
Don't take
is
the only
honestly
thing
the
I got
healthiest
away
thing.
from me.
That's the healthiest fucking thing he can do. Like you realize like what his
support it.
peers that aren't in 24 fantasy football leagues are doing out there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, meth.
Sure.
They're doing meth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it, Chunk. Get 35. 35 leagues,
Yeah,
Chunk.
why not just do 40?
It's the year of the chunk. Those Bills are gonna roll, huh? Trying to circle those wagons, huh?
They might.
I hope so, buddy.
Shit.
What a fun team.
I hope so.
UFC 277 is this weekend, dude. This is going to be a good ass UFC card. I am most excited about the headlining fight between Juliana Pena and Amanda Nunes, a rematch for the women's bantamweight title. Of course, Nunes is legendary, greatest female fighter of all time, was defeated in shocking fashion and quite frankly dominating fashion by Pena in their most recent fight. There's a co-main for the flyweight title between Brandon Moreno and Kai Kara France. There's a heavyweight battle with the Black Beast Derek Lewis and Sergey Pavlovich. There's a flyweight fight with Pantoja and Alex Perez. I'm really excited to see Magomed Ankalaev take on Lionheart, fucking Anthony Smith. That fight is going to be wild. In fact, that's my favorite gambling fight of that whole card. And this is just the main card. And can you imagine the greatness that this card would have been if they would have had Paulo Costa versus Luke Rockhold on this card as originally planned? But that was called off way back in March. Paulo Costa's meltdown has been going on for quite a while now. And unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get to bet on any Paulo Costa fights for any time soon. But guys, I want to start with the main event. I want to start with Pena Nunes.
Pena.
The Pena is anywhere from a plus 210 to plus 230 underdog on all the major gambling apps right now as the champion who submitted Nunes when they fought back. I think it was earlier this year, right? Was it back in like January or February? I remember watching that fight. And that was a shocking ass fight. And maybe I'm biased because I love to bet on Nunes, even with stupid juice on it. I'll pivot off of it for parlays and multi-fight bets and shit like that.
And
But I'm
who
with you,
doesn't-
Troy. I'm betting on Pena.
who doesn't
I
I've
agree.
got
love
Pena
revenge?
at 210, and I see her at 230.
I'd still take her at plus 200. She outclassed Nunes in that fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nunes has just got too complacent. She enjoyed the spotlight too much. I don't think she took it seriously. Hopefully, she does take it a little bit more seriously this fight. But I think it's going to be competitive. But I think Nunes is just way too lax. She's in the spotlight too much.
That's legitimately what happened. I mean, there's no doubt about it. That's what happened last fight. The question is, has she recovered from that? And you definitively say no. I agree with you. And it plus, like you said, like Troy said, he'd go as low as plus 200. I've got it plus 210. I've seen it at plus 230. I'm sure it's fallen. And it's always fun to bet before the weigh-ins, which of course I did, and some crazy shit can happen at, somebody comes in 4 pounds overweight and it's no longer a title fight. Your bet doesn't get voided if they still fight. So, buyer beware if you're betting before weigh-ins. Please, if you're listening to this and making decisions to bet on this fight, you can actually wait till after weigh-ins, which are typically on Friday. Todd, you got any thoughts on Nunes and Pena?
I like motivation. I like revenge fights, especially if you've been there before. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen now. So, Nunes.
So good with the platitudes. Your platitude game is so fucking good. I love it. And you string them together.
Yeah.
You just connect them. You sound like if you were
Like
a
Russell
medical
Wilson,
professional,
yeah.
you'd be you'd be either a great Russell Wilson or a great weatherman. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, the pass is coming in at 72 degrees. It's going to sweep on through.
it's going to be a low front's going to meet a high front somewhere out there. And we're going to get some rain late in the week.
Yeah.
Right? Chunk, I know you're a big
Stay
UFC
classy, Louisiana.
Chunk, what you got on Nunes Pena, dude?
Dude, Nunes is like a legend, right?
Yeah,
And
right.
I
She's the
don't
greatest
know what
female
happened
fighter
last
of all
time.
time.
Like, I don't see Juliana Pena in the same light as I see Amanda Nunes. Like, Amanda Nunes is a top 5 fighter in men or women of all time. Like, she's dominant, and I think she just kind of got complacent. Like Rusty said, I think she's gonna come out and kick Juliana Pena's ass. That's just me.
Well, Vegas agrees with you because Vegas. She's a clear favorite, obviously. The line is now at Nunes minus 275, Pena plus 230 at DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code BOOT. And Vegas. But that's too much juice. I don't think you can bet on Nunes unless you're betting like method of victory. If you want to bet on Nunes, I think you take it to a method of victory thing. And boy, it's hard to predict a method of victory for Nunes. Like I would not do a method of victory bet on a heavy favorite like this because, fuck, if we're just trying to go off the tape, there's really no good tape for Nunes to show you how she wins, via decision or submission or TKO or KO. I don't know, man. She could win the fight, but I don't think there's any value in betting on her at minus 275. The co-main, and I'll be honest with y'all, I don't have too strong of an opinion on the Moreno Kai Kara France fight. Troy, you got anything on that? I know you like this weight class.
No, what's Moreno at? What are the odds on him? Minus what?
He's minus. Sorry, looking at the wrong Moreno. Minus 210, and Kai Kara France is plus 180.
That's too much. I'll just enjoy the fight. I wouldn't put any money on it.
I'm the same boat. Anybody feel strongly enough, Chunk?
I like Kai Kara France, man, because he's one
You
of the
really do?
he's in that division. He's one of the few people that can sleep you. Like, he's got knockout power. And most of those little guys don't have it. He's got it.
Well, dude, I know y'all don't have legal betting out there yet, but like, unless you have an Uncle Tommy, when it comes to UFC betting, if you can snag a guy that you like, because to me this is kind of a coin toss of a fight. Like, I don't feel comfortable betting for that reason because I don't feel like I'm smart enough to predict the winner. But that plus 180 for Kai Kara France, that typically would sway your decision. So once y'all get the betting over there, this would be one that you'd probably even put a little money down on, huh? Plus 180.
I can drive to New Mexico. It's only about 45 minutes away.
God bless you, Rusty. What you got? You got anything on this fight?
Yeah, no. I think this is going to be a pick'em fight. I think really, I don't think there's going to be a clear horse in this one. I would avoid it, to be honest.
Todd, hit me with some platitudes. Work your magic.
It's all about who wants it most. When it comes down to it, pound for pound, hand to hand, You got to know who really wants it. And I can't disagree with Chunk's motivation there.
right.
You know, when it comes to whether it's the dew point alone that night of the fight is
Dew point's really important, and,
Yeah,
and it's
it's
really most people don't
through
even
the
know what
roof.
that is.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he's insightful too. You see what he's doing now? He's flexing.
yeah.
He's introducing really good terms that would confuse the listener.
Yeah.
You
Anyway,
know how
I'm
important dew
going
point
with
is?
Ken Shamrock all the way.
That's a good move, dude. But Todd, let's talk about dew point for a minute. Like,
Let's talk about it.
that's an important stat, right?
It
Like,
is,
people don't
depending on
even
what you
realize
care
that
about.
exists.
Yeah.
Can you accurately, or with or without platitudes, explain what dew point means?
I can't without platitude because first one must consider what dew means.
Oh, you're gonna get existential on us now when we're talking about dew point. Dew point's
Yeah.
the difference between the temperature and the humidity,
Mhm.
and it really gives you a more accurate feeling of how fucking shitty the weather is somewhere.
And
based
at
on
what
the dew
point
point
does
number.
dew appear on still objects? When they meet.
It sounds suspiciously inorganic.
Yeah, well,
Doesn't sound like you came up with that explanation in an analog fashion. 21st century digital boy over there.
Alexa, what's dew point?
Yeah, you want to ask your wives what the fucking dew point is? Sons of bitches. Next fight, dude, I want to skip on down to. I mean, okay, we got to talk about the Derek Lewis fight. Derek Lewis versus Sergey Pavlovich. Pavlovich is favored at -140. Derek Lewis +120. When I'm betting on UFC for real, I don't fuck with heavyweights. I don't fuck with heavyweight fights like this.
You scared?
They're enough fun to watch on their own, and unless there's some kind of clear mismatch or something, or like a fighter on the come up that they're just trying to feed motherfuckers to, I'll bet it. But this right here, I just want to sit back and probably watch Derek Lewis win, cheer for him to win, but not be upset if he loses. So I got nothing to bet on this fight. Y'all got any strong opinions about wagering on it?
Nope, I would agree with that.
$5,000 on
honestly,
Derek Lewis.
$5,000 on Derek Lewis. Dude, there's
I
one
love
time
Derek
Todd.
Don't.
I was at the casino in Mississippi at the sports book. It was like week 1 or week 2 of some NFL season. The Saints were playing the Raiders. And Todd was like, the Saints money line was like -320 because they were supposed to smoke the Raiders. And Todd was like, God, he called in some stupid fucking bet for me to place for him.
I was trying to find my wife's Derek Lewis shirt. That's her favorite fighter, man.
Do you have a Black Beast shirt?
Is your wife going to take him at +125?
Yo, she found it. Here it is.
Does your wife have a
The
DraftKings
Black
account?
You
Beast.
see it? Oh,
Does your wife have a DraftKings account?
no.
My balls was hot. That's a fantastic shirt, dude.
That's a good one.
He gave the greatest UFC interview in all time
Yeah.
when he was, and that was in Houston, right?
Yes. We were actually at that show live. So it was a good fight, great fight. Ended up maybe a couple weeks later buying a shirt for her. So I think he's definitely going to win this fight. Though.
+125. You get plenty of money on him.
Yeah, definitely. Because the Sergey, who he lost to last, Alistar, Overeem, he can't take big Black Beast knockouts. So he's going to get knocked out again.
I like it. Sean, you feel strongly?
I don't really feel strongly. I just like Derek Lewis because I know that if we had known each other growing up, we'd have been good friends.
Yeah. I feel.
He's the kind of cat you would hang out with, bro.
My balls.
Come on, the dude trains eating Popeye's chicken. You can't. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got
he
some,
listens to
like
Fat
at
Pat.
heavyweight. Well, he's at no
Yes.
danger of topping 265. Look, he's not Leonard Fournette. He don't have they have different jobs, right? Like he don't have to worry about weighing 260 pounds. That's still 5 pounds under weight limit.
Jeez.
Leonard Fournette's almost at the point he'd have to cut weight to fight at heavyweight in the fucking UFC. Y'all realize that, right?
Like, that's phenomenal. Like that's
He's 5 pounds away from missing weigh-in to fight in the heavyweight division at UFC.
Yeah, his next off season, they're going to bar him from staying in New Orleans.
I don't think he's done this in New Orleans. He's actually been out of town. You missed
what
it
do
earlier,
you
Rusty.
like
I was knighting for Leonard Fournette, saying that he's just been powerlifting and eating McDonald's this whole time, which I follow him on Instagram, despite the fact that he ruined Avengers for me, and so I like that's what he's been doing.
I got a hot take. So he's beefing up because his ankle hurt. He's gonna fight Jake Paul or his brother or something for a bunch of money pretty soon. That's what he's
That
doing.
actually would be a smart move for Leonard.
Monetarily, yes.
Yeah, he'd make like a whole year of NFL
His
salary
career in
for
one night
like 9 minutes of work.
to let that douchebag knock him out. Yeah,
I'd do it.
it's my hot take. I do it too.
That's a good take. That's actually
Right here.
when you're right, sir. Soothsayer over here.
It's all about motivation.
All right, my favorite fight of the night. Like I said, my favorite fight to bet on is Magomed Ankalaev versus Anthony Lionheart Smith, and Magomed is minus 520 favorite, and Anthony Smith is plus 410, and they are disrespecting my man Anthony Smith, the man who beat John Jones.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Right.
Let's be honest. He's the man who beat John Jones, not the way Matt Hughes beat John Jones, which was funny. Of course, I'm referring to the when John Jones had a no contest or loss versus Matt Hughes, who was beating the shit out of him with 12-6 elbows, standing to a down position. I'm talking about how the fact that Anthony Smith actually, I think, fucking should have won that decision against John Jones in a 5-round fight. But since then, you look like who else has Anthony Jones lost to? Well, he's lost to Glover Teixeira, who's the champion at 205. I know that Magomed is this up-and-coming death machine, but like these odds feel off to me because Anthony Smith really at plus 410, he deserves a bet, right? Anybody agree with me? Can I get a witness?
Yeah, $5.
No.
No?
So is Anthony Smith past his prime?
Good question. He's only 3 years older than Ankalaev, who is 30. Let me run through Anthony Smith's last few fights for you guys, okay? Because this feels important to me. A win versus Ryan Spann, choked him out in the first round. That was in September of 2021. He beat Jimmy Crute in April of 2021 with a TKO doctor stoppage after the end of the first round. Devin Clark submitted him triangle 2 minutes and 34 seconds into round one. Then he lost to Alexander Rakic before that. That was his last loss. That was back in August of 2020. And that was preceded by a loss to Glover Teixeira in May 2020. He beat Gustafsson before Gustafsson really started falling down like he has to now. That was in June of 2019. Lost to John Jones in a decision back in March of 2019. That was preceded by wins versus Volkan Ozdemir, Mauricio Shogun Hua, and Rashad Evans, going all the way back to 2018. You have to find his first, to my consideration, questionable loss is to Thiago Santos, TKO back in 2018. But that fight even was preceded by he knocked the fuck out of Hector Lombard in the third round.
Yeah.
Back in 2017 when Hector Lombard was something. Plus 410.
Yeah, I'm with you again. I think it's a trap game. I think it's a trap match. I think he definitely has a great shot. I mean, any person can lose on any day, but I think he's been on that 3 win streak, and I think he can do it. He can do it against this up-and-comer. This guy, beat a few people, but this guy has name lines. He has technique. I think he's going to do well.
Let me just run through Ankalaev's last fight resume here, okay? The guy that's this monster favorite. You can't bet on somebody that's this big of a favorite. And you're right, Rusty. I mean, they're just basically trying to feed him to Ankalaev right now, right? This is supposed to be another notch on the belt for Ankalaev on the way up. Ankalev's coming off a win against Thiago Santos in March of this year, beat Volkan Ozdemir by decision in October of 21, beat Krylov back in February of 21, beat Quaidaleba in 2020, October, beat Quaidaleba twice in a row, actually, beat him in February and October of 2020. You got to go all the way back to March of 2018 when Paul Craig, who I believe lost to Ozdemir on this past weekend's card, submitted Ankalaev with a crazy buzzer-beating 4 minute and 59 seconds of round number 3 fucking triangle choke. It was a classic loss. He beat the shit out of this dude. Magomed beat the fucking shit out of Paul Craig, which is actually not too hard to do, especially after watching him this past weekend. He just stands there and fucking takes it. Doesn't move very fast. And then he just slapped on a triangle and got him his tap with 1 second left in the fight. And so that's why Ankalev's such a big favorite. I'm just saying there's value. There's so much value at plus 410 on my man Anthony Lionheart Smith. That's my pick of the week, fellas. Follow me on Twitter at Taking the Over if you want to get like really awesome MLS parlays, like same game parlays that are basically guaranteed mathematic winners. I know my man Rusty is a killer at some same game parlays over there, and so anytime Rusty passes along a tip to me, I'll share it with you guys. But that's all I've got on the gambling for this evening. That's all I've got on UFC 277. Is there anything else about UFC 277 that I didn't get to that anybody wants to make sure that we hit? No.
How about
Good.
that 280 though? UFC 280.
Fucking UFC 280 is going
Yes.
to be out of this world.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Wow. Who's the headliner on that one, by the way?
That's Oliveira and Islam.
Oh. Do we need to just talk the betting on that one yet? I know you and I talked about the.
I've already
dude,
got
we
money
should.
on Oliveira at plus 165.
The champion is the plus 165 underdog.
That's right.
I like the Peter Yan. It was, I think, announced yesterday.
Peter Yan fight, but Peter
and
Yan,
Shane O'Malley. Yeah.
Peter Yan and O'Malley is going to be a fun fight to watch.
gonna
Dude,
be-
Vegas believes, as you probably do, without me even telling you, that fucking O'Malley's going to get his ass kicked in that fight,
Jan is going to rip him apart.
and that's what Vegas feels as well.
Well, the thing is, it's going to just be a fight for the fans because it's going to be a banger.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yan. Shit, that is going to be wild. That's going to be good. What else is on 280?
You got Sterling is defending the belt. I can't remember who he's fighting though.
And there's a little bit of a funky line to that one. That one, actually, I think there's a little bit of value on the Sterling fight because I think that they're disrespecting his opponent on the line. You know, lines are kind of saying this to a guest last week. Lines are kind of like Madden ratings that fucking matter because you can play it like you can buy it like a commodity. You know, you look at it in those terms. That's going to be a wild ass card. Is that the October card? UFC
Yes.
280?
Yeah.
Hey, dude.
October 22nd.
My goodness. Well, fellas, Chunk, thank you for joining us tonight. Is there anything you want to tell listeners, fantasy football related or otherwise?
Go Bills, man.
Hey, Bills. I'm excited for your Bills this year, dude. I'm excited for your Bills. Let me know if you want me to play some Bills bets for you before the season gets started here. Todd, no matter what you do, and no matter what bet you call me with to place, I'm not going to place it. But I know that it doesn't matter
And I want to thank you.
you live in Colorado, and you're doing all kinds of gambling that you don't tell anybody about. I'm sure in a very unhealthy fashion.
Yeah.
And I'm glad. Like it makes my heart warm to know that.
Yeah, it's fun.
And so thank you for joining. Is there anything that we didn't get to that you wanted to make sure that we did?
We don't have enough time, but thank you.
Good.
Bring a coat. It's
No.
gonna rain. It's gonna rain tomorrow.
It's gonna rain tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's a high pressure meeting a low pressure out there.
The dew point.
The dew point is important. Rusty Broussard, what you got for us, man?
Nothing. Just excited about the fights coming up. Excited about football season. Can't wait to go to the lake with everyone and commune like we haven't done in years
Yes.
together, and get ready for a new season. It'll be
I
awesome.
admire your commitment to making it, man.
So
Hell
thank
yeah.
my wife. She's the one that let me go.
Well, thank you to your wife. Troy, what you got, brother?
I just want to end it with reminding you guys that there's probably good value in Deshaun Watson. So
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you're
As
interested,
soon as a
you better
number
take him
comes out.
before I get him.
Well, what I'm saying, the only problem with that again is there's no numbers out on him yet. So as soon as it comes out, you're saying hammer that shit right to the moon, diamond hands.
I'm saying you should in our fantasy draft.
Uh-huh.
If you're interested, you better get him quickly.
You better
I'm coming
take him.
for
You better put the same ultimatum I put on Chunk with Josh Allen. That if you don't take him by the second round, he's gonna be gone. Hey, Rusty, I just want to tell you, Troy, I just want to tell you, if you've got your eyes on Deshaun Watson, just want to let you know you better get him for the second round. So,
That's right.
I'm taking notes,
you better
man.
get him, hey, you better get him for the third round. I'm coming.
All I know is he likes massages in V-shaped patterns.
I was talking to Todd on the side. Todd's telling me he might even take him in the first round. You know,
I'm thinking
Todd's
about
up
it, man.
for it. Todd's
Thinking
up for
about
it.
it. I can move some pieces around. I think I can get him.
Yeah. Move some pieces around. We love you. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back with more gambling excellence next week. Hugs, kisses, loves, buys. Cheers. Thank you, gentlemen. I love y'all so much. And the broadcast is going